Hi, Robin from Conscious Beings here. Today's topic is the inner child. So who is it? Where did we get it from? And why do we need to even know anything about it? So if you consider that a child is born into this world totally innocent, it's full of awe, creativity, and wonder towards life. You only have to watch a child as it watches the world around us to see how much it really is taking in. There's a natural curiosity, an eagerness and readiness to learn, always wanting to see what's happening and ask questions. A child is born with a blank slate. No negative emotions, no issues, baggage, or any of those things that we develop later in life. When we come into this world, we don't come pre-programmed. So we have to learn this operating system, as it were, very quickly. So a child's brain functions differently. It's in a delta wave state where it's basically downloading and almost in a hypnotic state, taking everything in. There's no logical brain working that has not developed yet. So it's a total right system. Everything it sees, hears, is downloaded into that system with no logical thought to is something right or how should I react to that. It's just download, instant replay. So we're only born with two fears, the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. Everything else is learnt behaviour and program. Now we gain this from our family, community, society as a whole by watching and listening and developing this system that we're going to use to navigate our lives. We learn it in this formative years from the people we have the most contact with. These are the major role models for us, as it were. Just remember, when you look back at your childhood, the good usually outweighs the bad, but the bad things are the ones we tend to remember. The good times are just there, but the bad ones tend to stick. When our major beliefs about ourselves are coming from the people that we are watching, we take on the behaviours from them, patterns that we continually see acted out in front of us. These are our first and most significant role models. And if those role models are not supportive or even dysfunctional, then sabotaging and negative self-beliefs are more likely going to be the basis of your core operating system. And the flip side of that is if you are raised in a very supportive model, then you are more likely to have positive and empowering beliefs. Now, this is not to say that what you start out with is what you have to spend the rest of your life with. We can change. We are not our parents. We are not that other person that we learnt the behaviour from. That was their stuff. We chose these people to come into the lives of, whether it's to learn a lesson, an experience, or for whatever reason. We never take on more than we are able to handle. So just remember that when you think perhaps your childhood or your informative years were quite hard. You are the person you are today by what has come in your past. Not to look backwards, but that is where you built your foundations. We need to recognise that you can't go back. You can't change the past no matter what has happened in it. But what you can do is learn from those past experiences and use those to move forward in your life, creating the life you want, not what the programming was that you came with in those young years. It's about shifting your focus, about moving forward with your life into what you really want, not being stuck with what you think you are by what your parents created in their own lives. You are not your parents. So we all have an inner child. Many beliefs from early childhood experiences we hold on to often underpin our way we look at the world. Those childlike aspects, trusting, innocent, playful beliefs, or the vulnerable, hurt, abandoned, and betrayed beliefs. Emotions and feelings are the language a child functions from. So our inner child is a reflection of our younger self. And our younger self, functioning from those thoughts and emotions, was not in a position to use the logical brain because it's not developed in a young child. We function from the primal brain, instinct and emotions. When we have obstacles or challenges in our teen or adult lives, these are based on the beliefs that we've laid down in our past. The language of emotions and feelings are perceived very differently by a child. And when we look back on them with the logical brain, the logical process, we can view the past very differently. And we are able to look back at it with a different point of view. Unconsciously, we may be seeking love and acceptance, unhealed emotions, abandonment, trust, neglect, etc. are all beliefs that we may function from, but they are from the child's perspective. So bring the logical mind forward and look at those same situations. And you can work with the inner child. It's your shadow self. It's the part of you that didn't quite feel heard, didn't quite feel appreciated, abandoned, whatever it is that you're holding on to from your past that you've dragged forward into your future. So let's look at it with an adult's insight now. We can realign the way we perceive things. We now have information and knowledge that we did not have as a child, and a perspective that we now know that it was not all about us. Our parents were acting out the behaviours that they had downloaded. So when they were using that program, they were running from what they already had in their system. And you are merely picking up what they already had running in your system. The past does not need to define you. You are not your past. So by looking at those childlike aspects that we sometimes take into our forward lives, our teen and our adult, we can shift and change things. Freeing that energy and being able to move forward with your life. Now there's also the fact that sometimes we need to tap into that childlike connection of the fun, the joy, the playfulness. When life gets too serious, lighten up. Let go, have fun, recharge your energy. It does wonders for your health and your mind. So here are a few tips to ways to reconnect with your inner child. Write a letter to that inner child about maybe how you perceive things now that you had happened to you in your past. Tap into those emotions and feelings and look at them from a different perspective. Have fun, do things that you used to enjoy when you were younger. Tap into that energy again. Meditate and reconnect with that inner child. Take them into your arms. Tell them they are loved and supported and that you know information now that they didn't have access to then. and share this stuff with them. Talk to them as if you would a child. Explain things that based on emotions and feelings that they can connect to. Create new habits that nurture you. Play, dance, sing, have fun. Change your self-talk. If you have self-talk that's a rollover from what you heard as a child, change it. You don't need to stick with that. That was what your parents or others were sort of projecting out that you picked up. You've got to be your own cheerleader. You've got to sort of really move forward and not live in the past. Give yourself lots of love, hugs and kisses, because you are your inner child. When we function from the past, that's where we get stuck. If you can free up those emotions, free up those feelings that you may be carrying forward in your life, you are then able to move forward in a different way and create better things for yourself. So there's so much stuff out there on healing the inner child, dealing with the inner child, connecting, reparenting. If you really want more information on this, then there is lots available and easily accessible. So I hope you enjoyed today's topic. Thank you. See you next time.